This is part 5. No, this is redo 5 or take 5 of me trying to do this what if. Yes, I did this 5 times and I'm very sick. That is bad for me. But I'm good doing this again because I messed up somewhere. As I'm gonna continue the story. I'm gonna do the story now. I'll basically speak to you all in the end of this what if. So, this will be a what if for future me's problem that I will name. I'll probably name it at the end of this this video. But anyway, I'm gonna get to the what if now. As we see Izuku, basically this is after the entrance exam. Izuku has failed. As Izuku is by a side of the mountain, as he's just sitting there near a cliff, looking down, as Izuku's thinking on the life choices that he made so far. He could not complete his dream of being a hero. He couldn't get into the support classes. He couldn't even try out for the general studies. As Izuku basically remembers what his number one hero stated and how the heroes scold him for even taking the entrance exam in the first place. As Izuku's crying, as Izuku flashes back to Bakugo, saying, seriously, you quirkless loser, maybe you'll get another quirk in your next life. As Izuku is also flashing back through the memories of all the bad people, as all he has is just bad memories. As Izuku is on the cliff, as he's sitting there, crying, as Izuku basically falls, or jumps, to be more exact, or basically gets up of sitting and then jumps. As Izuku's falling, as all he can remember is the bad memories, he has no good memories, until a flash of his mother, and a lot of his mother's memories, all good ones, as he says, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm worthless in this world." As Izuku was about to hit the floor. As Izuku did hit the floor, but he didn't die, which was odd, as Izuku is fading in and out of consciousness as a blue light approaches Izuku. So, what is your designated name, as it states? Name? As the thing says it again. What is your designated name? Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya. What do you wish? Power. Why do you wish for power? To protect and to prove myself. Why do you wish to prove yourself? To show everyone that I'm not a weak and pathetic, quirkless nobody like they say I am. As all you can hear is calibrating. What are your goals? To become a hero. Why do you wish to become a hero? To protect the innocents and to show the people that doubted me that anything is possible. As the thing says, calibrating. Final question. If you were given power, what would you do with it? As Izuku says, as it asks a side question, as Izuku doesn't answer at first, as the thing continues the question, if you were given power, what would you do with it? Would you use it for evil and make everyone that made you suffer pay? Or would you use it for good and to protect the innocents? to use it for good and to protect the innocent. As it says, calibrating. Final question. If you were given power, would you die for it? As Izuku doesn't understand that question, as it states again, if you were given power, would you die for it? As Izuku thinks for a few seconds, his life has been hopeless, worthless, and everything is blurry, by the way, for Izuku. What he can see is just a blue light. As Izuku says, yes, I would give my life up for it. As the robot says, calibrating. Question test complete. Izuku Midoriya, you have now access. Izuku Midoriya, you are now a driver. As basically Izuku finally gets unconscious. As basically Izuku wakes up at his house. As Izuku doesn't even know what happened. As Izuku puts his hand on his neck, as he's like, my head and neck hurts like hell. As Izuku is basically blinking, as he's like, damn, was that a dream? As he walks up to his mother, as basically Izuku knows the entrance exam is passed. You check the date. As Izuku knows he went to the entrance exam, he just doesn't know what happened after the entrance exam, where he went to. As that is very, very blurry. As Izuku is walking, basically from going to the shop, getting groceries, as Izuku walks past a few of his school children, as basically they're laughing at him, making fun of him, as basically he's ignoring them, as finally they get hostile with him, as they're like, oh, Izuku, where are you going? Come on, buddy, you know we're friends, right? As I would say um, one of them has a fire quirk, I guess. Like in just if like ignite quirk, as basically ignites a small fire in his hand. As basically Izuku can see this, as he's really calm on the outside, but inside he's losing it. As Izuku continues walking, as basically this big one gets in front of Izuku, as it says, where you think you're going, Izuku? Come on, you think you can be a hero, huh? Well, why aren't you at UA? Did you pass? Probably you failed. As basically they're all laughing at him as Izuku's getting pissed, as he clenches his fist, as he looks at them, as it's three, as this other guy with a wing quirk, this like basically bird with wings, bat wings, basically says, oh what, the quirkless nobody getting angry, as basically Izuku's like really pissed, he's biting his teeth now, as he, as basically when Izuku looks up, his eye glows blue, as all you can hear is targets acquired, as basically this guy's basically the guy with the ignite core touches Izuku's shoulder, as Izuku grabs it, as he pulls it down, as basically he does it pretty strongly, and this guy's pretty strong for his quirk, he's pretty strong, as this guy's like, damn it, you're strong, as he basically uses his other hand and tries to ignite Izuku, as basically Izuku unconsciously just walks like sidesteps unconsciously, as he trips the guy. He's doing this subconsciously, he doesn't know what he's doing, as Izuku basically sees this guy on the floor, as Izuku's questioning what he just done, as this big guy basically is like, you damn quirkless brat, you're gonna pay for that, as he basically throws a punch, as Izuku basically sidestep, basically jumps small step back, like say now walk back, as the guy misses, as Izuku grabs the guy's hand, pulls him towards Izuku, as basically grabs the guy's throat as he's choking him, as the guy is actually getting choked, as Izuku doesn't even know what like is happening, and he's choking the guy with his left hand, as I would say the other, basically the wing guy, basically tries to throw a punch behind Izuku, as basically something jumped on his arm, as basically this thing is, I would say it's like biting into him. It has a mouth of sorts, as it's biting into him, as it's basically he's trying to get this thing off. As this guy passed, basically he throws the big guy on the floor as he walks up to this other one, as he basically kicks him, knees him in the stomach, as the guy drops, as the thing jumps back on Izuku's arm, as Izuku just picks up the bags and walks away. As when Izuku got to the house, puts the food down, as basically he heads to his room immediately, as he basically closes the door, as he starts sweating, as he's thinking, what the hell did I just do? As he's looking at his hands, as he doesn't even know what he'd done, as basically you can hear a voice, as there's a voice in Izuku's head, hey, calm down, you didn't do that, I did that, as Izuku's basically looking left, right, as Izuku doesn't even know where the voice came from, as basically the guy's like, calm down, and no, I'm not whatever that quirk thing you call it. Damn, that's a goddamn virus. I mean, it does improve them. It does give humans at least some power, but it's still a virus in the face of, in my eyes, it's still a virus. As basically this thing is on Izuku, in Izuku's head speaking. As Izuku's like, "Where are you? Are you in this room?" As the thing's like, "No, no, 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 I'm not in this room. I'm basically on your arm." As Izuku looks at his arm, as he sees a smartwatch, as it morphs and jumps off of his arm, as it turns into this thing. Hi there, my name is Spider19. Spider19? Okay. And to make it more simply, you are my driver. What is a driver? As Izuku's clueless, as he's like, what is a driver? As basically the thing's like, looks like I need to get to explaining. A driver is somebody that has a mental relation. It's basically somebody that has a connection to a AI machine, and that if the driver dies, the machine will shut down and reset. Or basically its memories will be reset to the point of when it has to restart, to the point of when it had no memories, basically when it was back to its original AI. So, what, as Izuku didn't get any of that, as basically he puts it in simple terms, it's basically, it's basically, two, it's basically if a person dies, their entire computer gets wiped. That's basically what it is. But I'm an advanced AI, as Izuku knows what AIs are, and he's like not that much of a genius. He makes like stuff. He can make stuff. He can obviously make stuff like support weapons, support items, but he really didn't focus in it. As he can also engineer things. As Izuku like, as Izuku's like, okay, and what is this AI? I am one of, as basically when it was gonna say the amount of how many AIs there are, it's basically it sorted like glitching out. As basically the robot's like, I don't know how many are there. I don't even remember if I had brothers. As it's thinking, as it doesn't even remember its lost, like basically owner, who owned it lost. As it's trying to get back some of its main memories, but it can't. It doesn't even know how it ended up here. All it remembered was Izuku basically appearing out of nowhere, or falling basically from the sky. As basically Izuku's like, oh, so that wasn't a dream. But wait, how did I get in my house? I basically looked through your memories and brought you here. Wait, you can do that? How? What did you do to me? As Izuku like has a hunch that this thing did something to him. As basically is like as the robot said, you agreed, you wanted power, did you not? And you said you would give your life up for that power. Now you have it. So you are no longer the normal Izuku you once were. You are connected to me. And if you die, I die. Or I won't die, it's just my AI will get destroyed. And then my entire systems will reboot and then I will have no memory of you again. As Izuku's like, you know this why? It's a main core of my memory. It's just I can't get back my other memories. As it's trying to remember like what district did it came from, where did it came from, did it basically was it made on this planet? Where was it made? It can't remember who created it either. And that's one of the main memories it doesn't delete. As it will only forget its drifter or its driver. It won't forget basically main memories like this. As it's stated that somebody has tampered with his memory and that with his memory and that he cannot remember some main functions. Basically some main things of what the driver needed to know. As basically he says, well, I'm gonna leave my memories on a later date. Well, to explain what a drifter and I are supposed to do. We are interconnected through mind and soul. Through mind and basically soul. As long as you're alive, I will continue not serving you, but helping you until you die. That's when my entire body will be reset, and then I will go on to choosing the next drifter. And so on and so on, it will continue. As Izuku's like, okay. And so I'm thinking about you don't remember who controlled you last, right? That's the point of the function. I'm not supposed to remember who controlled me last. And the funny thing is, we are quite a special one too. What? Wait. Izuku's like, continue. Unlike some other robots, I'm able to have emotions. That's why my entire systems get reset when I go to the next drifter. Because my entire emotions get reset back to the way it was before. And then I develop new emotions with a new drifter. You are now a drifter. So basically, I am yours to command. As Izuku is like, okay. So, are you some type of alien robotic thing or something? As basically the robot's like, I wish I could tell you, but I can't. Because I don't even remember who created me, or even why I was sent here, or even if I came from this planet, or even if I came from this planet, I guess. I don't even remember if I was made out in space. As it knows like certain things, like it kind of knows that what the planet is, where it is. It kind of knows like there are more planets out there. as it kind of knows that there are more of it out there, it just doesn't remember. Uh, as it states to Izuku, I don't even remember who created me. As basically, it's now like like a short silence goes over them. As Izuku's like, okay, what are you made for? Combat. As Izuku basically looks at the thing, as it's like, you don't look like you're made for combat. As basically the thing's like, yeah, well, I'm not just made for combat. I'm made to adapt in a way. Basically, it's better if I show you. As basically it walks up to Izuku's table where there's a lot of scrap metal and screws as it starts eating some of the scrap metal. As Izuku's like, hey, I was gonna use that. As basically the thing's like, well, I'm using it now. As it starts getting a bit of armor on, as it starts changing, as basically Izuku's watching how the thing is basically getting updated as it consumed like some scrap. As the thing's like, there we go. Do you understand now? As Izuku's like, so you can update yourself? As basically the thing's like, correct. I can also create my own robotic thing, own robots, and other stuff that are highly intelligent. Not like me, but just intelligent enough, as it states. Don't know why that picture came on, that was for a later thing. As Izuku's like, so, you can make weapons and stuff, right? But here's a question, what does this have to do with me? You're the driver. That means my job is to protect you and assist you with whatever you want to accomplish. As basically Izuku's thinking of this. As Izuku thinks of being a hero with this ability. As basically the machine's like, yes, you can also become a hero with basically my help. As basically Zuko's like, how did you know we're connected? That means whatever you think of will automatically come to me. As basically Zuko basically is like, okay. As the thing, basically the robot's like, I don't know, I wonder how I ended up with a crybaby, clueless, dumb green broccoli head like you. As basically Izuku's like, oh please, don't be mean. As the robot looks back at Izuku as it says, well Izuku, if you wish to accomplish your dream, I can help you. But you need to man up and stop letting everyone get the better of you. Stop letting everyone tell you what you can't be. And finally do what you want. As Izuku basically goes silent and looks at this robot. As this robot looks at Izuku and says, I will help you be a hero. But it's your actions that will show that will basically tell everyone that you're not supposed to be messed with. I'm not basically keen with weak drivers. I know this because it's the way I was designed. I don't really like weak drivers. So that means you need to stop letting everyone tell you what you're supposed to be. As she basically like, how can I say it? Basically her eye zooms into like Izuku's basically face. As Izuku basically his head is down with his hair covering his eyes. As basically she tells Izuku, what are you gonna do? Let everyone push you around? Or are you gonna finally push back? As basically she zooms further into Izuku's face. As Izuku basically like his hair is covering his eyes. As Izuku's like, I'm tired. I'm tired of my life being like this. I'm not gonna let someone tell me what I can do or what I can't do. it was the number one hero who told me I can't be a hero, I'm gonna prove him wrong. As Izuku states, as Izuku basically knows this thing's right, he's been letting people take advantage of him for a long time. As it's time for Izuku to take back his life. As the thing's like good. As it states, now, first, tomorrow morning, we're gonna go to a place with a lot of scrap metal. As that where we will begin your training. As Izuku knows one place in mind, as basically the robot's like, yeah, that's perfect. Dagobah Beach is perfect. As basically Izuku, they are like interconnected, they are like mind linked. So basically whatever Deku thinks, she gets the, like basically the information as well. As the next morning comes, as we're gonna say they have ended up in Dagobah Beach already. They're by Dagobah Beach, as she's just busy numbing on a lot of scrap. As basically she's telling Izuku, well, you need to get stronger somehow. So I'm gonna give you a training regimen. Well, how can she give basically Izuku a training regimen? She doesn't really need to sleep, so she was just online looking for ways that she can make Izuku a bit stronger. So first, she needs to give Izuku a training regimen. As I don't know what to put in this Izuku like training regimen, so I'm gonna give Izuku Saitama's training regimen. 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 10k kilometer run, and I think that's it. I think that's it for what he's supposed to do. As Izuku basically is doing this, as this is hard for him because Izuku didn't do much on the training thing, as Izuku's also moving like scrap towards the robot as she's just eating, and I would say she ate so enough to turn into, as she looks like this now. She's still basically just, how can I say it, you like recycling the scrap metal that is here, as she's also looking through certain things through technology and stuff, as Izuku like stopped moving scrap metal, as this is Izuku's break, as Izuku pulls out a few books, as he has mechanical like books on like basically technology books, engineering books, you know that stuff. He's a nerd in general, so he likes to read this stuff. Chemical components. As she's like, huh, interesting. As basically Izuku's like, yeah, as he's reading through this book. As she's like, well, this is primitive, but it should work. As basically Izuku's like, what do you mean by that? As she gives Izuku an idea by transferring some information to Izuku. As Izuku's like, wait, can it really work? As basically she's like, yeah, if we have enough components. Well, look here, Izuku, we have this entire scrap metal dump to go through. There's a lot of components here that I can use. So, it could work. As she's like, but first, I need to get some smelting equipment. As basically, Izuku's like, wait, what? Well, you're not gonna just be using scrap metal all the time. We need to reforge some of the metal here. As basically, there was like, is I would say like this is like taking place over a month, as Izuku has ordered basically parts of a blow furnace, as Izuku has been making money. If you don't know where Izuku's been making money, let's just say it's a business he's working for that pays a good penny for him, as he could order a mechanical blow furnace, as she consumes the parts, and now she's a mobile blow furnace, as she's basically reforging some of the metal, scrap metal that's there. As Izuku is busy moving the scrap metal, as after a month or two, and UA is already started, so let's just say like after a few like weeks or two, or no, not weeks, like a month or two, Izuku is wearing this thing. Izuku is wearing like an armored, like, how can I say it? Izuku's wearing an exosuit that doesn't cover his body. It just like basically is like a skeleton, an exoskeleton. It's basically copying a version of a skeleton, except for the ribs. So there's like basically machinery parts going down his spine. There's machinery parts going down his back of his legs and the front of his legs also. There's machinery parts going down his arm with some gloves that reaches his elbow. As there's also like boots that reaches his kneecap. As Izuku is wearing a helmet. As the helmet, that's Izuku's helmet. As Izuku's like, whoa, you made this? She's like, yes, I can make mostly anything out of scrap metal, as long as I have the right components. And luckily, all the components were here. So, yeah, that was quite easy for me. As Izuku's, as Izuku's like, awesome. As she basically Izuku, the reason why Izuku doesn't have power problems is because Izuku doesn't realize that he is the power source. As that's a little side note for you to realize, because Izuku is the power source. Just think on that. As Izuku is basically moving this machine, as it it's basically boosting his physical stats by a lot. Speed, strength, basically speed, strength is being boosted a lot. Agility, as Izuku also has a screen showing on which is the basically best course of action. It shows him an outline on what he should do or what he can do. It's basically best course of action. As Izuku's training with this robot machine, she's still scanning through the scrap metal, looking to upgrade a few things. As she's looking for basically a certain component, as she finds it, as it's like a motherboard of sorts, a motherboard that came out of, let's say, a scrap car, a very advanced scrap car. As it's old, but it has a motherboard. As it's an AI motherboard. As he's like, found you. Well, at least we don't need to order this now. As she deconstructs it, as she makes it, as she makes 5 new things. Sorry, make that 6. Yeah, she makes 6 of these things. And these guys are relatively small, but they're not advanced either. They're only meant to do like scanning through stuff and find certain materials and like components to use or recycle. She's basically like looking through the scrap as Izuku is training with the suit. As the suit is also showing which is the best course of training and combat. As Izuku's practicing, as basically she looks at Izuku. Izuku's gonna need a weapon. So, looks like I gotta get to work with that. Let's see what goodies we have here. As she's like basically scouring through, as they have found a lot of components for a gun, as they're making quite one different gun, one hell of a different gun. They're not like sticking to normal components. They go in advanced. So they're like smelting and remaking some components. As Izuku's still training, and I would say this is the time on the USJ. as Izuku basically got the gun from her. As Izuku, they made Izuku this gun. As Izuku's been getting really tired very quickly. As Izuku's hissing as he's like, ah, I've been getting tired very quickly. What's up with that? As the robot's like, I forgot to tell you. We've been running on your energy. What do you mean? Take it like you're the battery and we are running off of your power. So as long as you're still energetic, we won't switch off automatically of lack of power. As even the suit is running off of your energy. As Izuku's like, so that's why I'm getting tired. Is there a way to go past it? We can make batteries, but that's gonna be a while. So you need a, how can I say it? How can I say it? Hold out for a while until I can get the necessary components for that, and you're gonna need to order some of that. Izuku's like, fine, as long as I don't need to get tired that easily again. She's like, okay. As basically, she gotten the okay to order stuff, but not a lot. She ordered stuff for the battery and stuff for a charging station for the battery. She's gonna make 4, as the charging station is gonna take a day to charge a battery, so she's making 4. As it comes, obviously, she quickly makes it, but not in time for the USJ. As basically Izuku is basically on a wandering, basically he's wandering. You can say he's just wandering until he sees like a fire in the distance. As basically he asks, "What is that? Is that smoke?" She's like, "Correct, that is smoke from a fire." As it basically you can't hear it, but it's like a cracker. It's all you hear is a poof. As basically she's like, that must be an explosion. Something's going down. As basically Zuko's like, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Wanna go check it out? As basically she's like, before you go check it out, don't forget to take your suit. Because you always keep on forgetting, you always keep on jumping into dangerous things without taking your suit. Even Sagan, for crying out loud. As Izuku's like, fine, mom. As basically the robot's like, I don't care, just take it. Safety's first, remember. As he takes the suit with him, with the gun. As basically this is the USJ. As it's supposed to be hidden, but Izuku was somewhere like, he could somewhat see the smoke and hear the small explosion, so yeah, he took that with. He went back home, grabbed the suit, and then rushed towards the location. As basically, he sees this building like being ransacked and destroyed, and there's villains inside. As he's like, "What the actual hell's going on?" As he takes a sniper position, as he's like overviewing the USJ, as he's like, "This looks bad." As he sees Katsuki Bakugo, as immediately when he sees Katsuki Bakugo, is like best friend, as he immediately just wants to leave, like rather let him die because he's annoying. As basically he's like, wait, Izuku, this is your chance. As basically Izuku hears him say, like the robot say this. As the robot's name, Izuku's calling him Sulk, because that spider number thing is not working for him. He's gonna call him Sulk. As basically the robot Sulk says, Izuku, this is your chance to prove to them that you're not weak. As Izuku's pondering this, as Izuku puts on basically like something to cover, like a jacket he has. He has a jacket covering his robotic things. As he thinks, he's in a deep thought now. As basically Robot Sulk says again, if you miss your chance, it will never come again. As Izuku takes a breath in and out, as he's like, fine. But I'm not helping that son of a explosion bastard. Not what he did to me all those years ago. I still blame him for that. As Izuku's pretty pissed at Bakugo. Izuku really didn't like Bakugo back then, and he still doesn't like Bakugo now. Like back then, he was very forgiving, but not anymore. He doesn't like him anymore, Bakugo anymore. As Izuku takes a sniping position, as he starts sniping villains left, right, and center. As in the USJ, we're gonna cut to Bakugo busy fighting off some of the villains, including the Nomu. As Mr. Zawa is also assisting, as Mr. Zawa just sees this plasma energy pass by him as it hits the villain, as the villain gets sent flying, as more of these shots come down, as they're hitting villains left, right, as everyone's looking at where it's coming from. It's coming somewhere from the forest, as he's shooting, as basically Mr. Zawa's like, I need to check that later, but right now we're in a battle. As basically, this takes some of the stress off of Bakugo and Izawa, as Bakugo now can just deal with a Nomu. As I wouldn't say Bakugo is one for all, as Mirio is also there, the big three is also there, as they're also helping somewhat. Mirio has one for all, as he basically the supporter that has a sniper is just assisting, as Mr. Izawa doesn't know who it is, as he's just glad that he's supporting, as he has Izuku, by the way, has the entire USJ in his sights. So he's not just supporting them, he's supporting some of the other children. As he saved Mina and Momo. He saved Momo, he saved Mina and some of the other classmates. Kirigiri was about to touch what's her name? Sue, or he was about to touch Mr. Zawa's arm until he was shot by a plasma and sent flying. As basically Shigaraki's like, where did that attack come from? As he looks out into the forest where the shot came from, as someone fires again. As this time it's aiming basically for the other villains. As the only one that's up still is Kurogiri, Shigaraki, and the Nomu. As Kurogiri teleports to where the attacker is, as he teleports to it, as he tries to teleport the attacker into the USJ, which actually works, as Izuku is teleported into the USJ, as he lands, mask on, as he looks around, as he's like, damn it, I had a perfect view of the USJ from here, as everyone can see the sniper that was there, as basically the Nomu sees this guy as he rushes to him, as Izuku basically dodges out of instinct, as he basically lands, shoots the Nomu with the plasma, sends it back a bit, but not that much, as Izuku's like, you're gonna be tough, aren't you? As basically Bakugo basically throws Izuku out of the way. He doesn't know who he is. He just throws this guy out of the way. It's like, out of my way, you nerd. Damn useless. Damn extras. As Izuku is just furiated. He just wants to shoot Bakugo now, but he knows there's bigger problem. There's bigger fish in the sea. As literally as to there he's fighting the Nomu. As basically he asks Silk of the best course of action. As she says, baby, maybe to attack that brain thing. Using your plasma energy, you might be able to at least crack it. As she thinks with her calculations. As basically Izuku's like, okay, got it, here goes nothing. As Izuku basically, Todoroki also jumped in, so Todoroki's also assisting. As Izuku's just assisting from long range as he's firing on the Nomu thing. As the Nomu was about to grab Bakugo as the Nomu's hand gets blasted as its hands get swung back as Bakugo lets out an explosion which cracks the thing, sort of cracks it, as Izuku fires on the glass container as it's slowly breaking, as Izuku's like, just need a few more shots, as Izuku has not a clear shot on the brain, as because Bakugo is just flying everywhere and Todoroki's blocking his view with ice, as Mr. Aizawa is watching this guy, as he can see this guy's getting frustrated, but he doesn't know what this guy's frustrated for. As he finally yells, "Damn it, you two idiots, stop blocking my shots!" as he screams out, as he fires onto the container as it cracks more. As basically Bakugo stops attacking and says, "So what? Come on, you're just useless." As basically he says, "If I'm so useless, watch how I kill this thing before the both of you idiots." As basically Izuku runs with the gun, as he's rushing to the Nomu, gun on his back, as the Nomu basically turns around, punches at Bakugo, swats Todoroki away, as Izuku jumps, as he basically cocks his fist back and punches straight through the brain, as the glass shatters, as Izuku basically takes out his gun and starts unloading on the brain, as the Nomu drops to the floor dead, as basically Bakugo and Todoroki are like, he actually killed the thing before us. As Bakugo's angry, he's like, that damn extra think he's better than me. As he's walking up to this guy, as he's like, you damn extra, what do you think? You're better than me? As he shoots Bakugo. Bakugo gets sent flying as he hits the wall. As Mr. Zhao sees this, as basically he attacked a UA student, as Mr. Zawa has to take him in, as basically Izuku's like, I don't have time for this. You guys are annoying. A quirkless person can defeat a thing like that, but you guys can't. As he points at Bakugo and Todoroki, as basically Bakugo's like, what do you mean quirkless? As basically Mr. Zawa has his quirk activated, so he's blocking Izuku's quirk, but Izuku doesn't have a quirk. As basically he unzips the jacket and shows the suit that's underneath. As he states, a quirkless person can kill a thing like that, where the two people with two powerful quirks can't do shiz. Seriously, you two are useless. Especially you. You're arrogant, as he says to Bakugo. As Bakugo is like, why you impudent little, as basically he lunges at this person, as he grabs Bakugo's wrist, as he throws him on the other side. As he's like, I really don't have time for people like you. If you don't want to be a hero, then just leave UA. You don't deserve to be there in the first place. As Izuku walks away, as Izuku's giving Bakugo, being very cold, but Bakugo doesn't know that's Izuku, as he's like, you son of a... As basically Todoroki is also angry and pissed at Izuku, because Todoroki wasn't just talking to Bakugo, he's talking to Todoroki as well. As he stops basically stops walking past. When he walked past Todoroki, he stopped, as he says, if you don't want to use your full power, then you don't even deserve to be in UA either. As basically Todoroki is looking at this man, as Izuku says, there are people that are quirkless, have no power, can't do the things you do. And then there are people like you that has all the power in the world, but wastes it because they have some type of grudge. As basically Izuku can tell this person has a grudge, he just doesn't know on who. Sorry about that. As Izuku says, if you two don't man up and get over your emotions and feelings, then you'll never be true heroes. As Izuku jumps off, as Izuku jumped high enough to get out of the USJ, as All Might arrives, as he says, I am here. as it's already over. As Todoroki and Bakugo are basically pissed wondering who that person is. As Mr. Zao is also wondering who that person is. Because he knows quite a lot about Bakugo, but he doesn't know that much about Todoroki. He can just tell that Todoroki has a grudge. And he also has another quirk. As Izuku basically is running out of the USJ, as he's going pretty fast. As Izuku gets home, as he's like, wow, that was stressful and scary. But at least I saved people. As Silk is like, yeah, at least you saved a few people. Be happy for that. I am. As basically Silk is like, well, I guess you're looking quite tired for now, Izuku. Rest. You're gonna need it. As Izuku's like, I will. As Izuku passes out. As sorry about that noise. So basically, she doesn't sigh. She just looks at Izuku. She says, "Well, if you need, well, I will help you in what." As she basically remembers what she said. I will help you in whatever. Like basically, I will help you become a hero. As she remembers that words that she says. She basically not smirks. She kind of smirks at herself. She's kind of proud of herself. And I'm saying her because the AI is a girl. As basically, she states, well, I shouldn't celebrate and smirk now. We have a long way ahead of us. As I'm gonna leave it off there, guys. Now, it's the end of the video. I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know what to name this video. It's probably gonna be something on the lines of... Actually, no, I got a name now. Never mind, I got a name now. I won't say it in this video. You'll see it in the video, what the video is called. You'll see it there. Other stuff. I am still sick. Statement. I won't be posting videos that often. I'm trying to post daily, but I have no inspiration to post daily. I need more inspiration, or I didn't get that boost of creativity to continue some of my what ifs. So I won't be posting daily, and if I do post a video, it's gonna take a while before it comes out. So I won't be posting daily. But I'll tell you if I'm gonna post daily again. So until the next video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you like the content that I create here, hit the notification bell to catch more of my videos. This is 100k. This is 100, not 100. Yeah, 100 subscribers. This is 100 subscribers special, because if I last checked, I was somewhere at 94. That's the last time I checked my subscriber count. I'm probably over 100 now. So this is the 100 subscribers special, and until the next time, bye everyone.